Hello, Active Sage here on the Sage channel. It is Sleep, Art, Game, and Eat, and today we're taking a look at the Point Strike defense turret, which actually isn't exactly a turret like you usually see. It is here, and it is basically just a stationary ship. It's not designed to move. It has a few thrusters on the backside here, as you can see, but they're mainly just to keep it from moving. If you actually try to maneuver this thing yourself, you'd be in a world of hurt, so it would probably be moved by a larger ship using a landing gear. At the front of it, we have, this is the Gatling Gun version. We have a bunch of Gatling guns here, and they actually go back one behind each other, because currently you can do that without the bullets tearing each other apart. I hope they'll fix that in the future, but while it's still like that, I'm going to exploit it and put a bunch of them here, so this is a huge Gatling Gun version. Over there, we have the missile launcher versions, which are both the same as each other, and I'll show you those in a moment. As you can see here, I decided to flail out the front and make it look kind of like a big cannon. Hopefully one day we'll also see particle weapons in the game, either by the developers themselves, or I'm sure somebody will mod it in, so I can have a big stationary particle cannon or beam weapon that'll burn and cut through stuff. Anyway, if we carry on to the back, you can see the small engines I was talking about, our thrusters. We got 3 here, and that's 3 up, down, left, right, for basically keeping it stationary. 4 here, which are on each of the sides, and that is actually because we need a lot more thrust to keep it from going backwards when we're firing. And then we got 4 here spread about, just to sort of, again, keep it from moving if maybe something hits it or it just ends up getting bumped. Now, to get into it is actually rather interesting. You see the interior here, and it's actually right behind this plate here. You basically fly over to it, and you can't fly directly into it, of course, because it's such a small hole. And you line yourself up about like that, and then you go forward like this, rotate your view down. That way you're actually squeezing through it. See, if I was going to third person, you can see now that's how I have to go through it. And then once you're out, still in third person, actually I can't really, there we go. You can see you have to rotate yourself again to be able to get back into it, because just trying to fly forward doesn't always work so well, as you can see there. Anyway, so first person, rotate forward. You fly through that nice little opening. It's pretty cool. It's actually an extra layer of defense to get inside. Now, in here, you can see we have our medium storage containers that you have on small ships for storing spare ammo, because I'm pretty sure they'll be adding ammo to the game pretty damn soon. We got our generators. We got a bunch of those all over the place, even down there, and our 1,000,001 gyroscopes. And then you can see the start of the guns right there. You can see some right down there, down the whole line of the middle, and even more gyroscopes there, because we want this thing to be able to turn pretty quickly to shoot at any enemies. Now I'm going to turn on my UI. You can see its basic stats there. Switch to its projectile type weapons. Now I'm going to take a few shots at these targets out there. There we go. And it's actually pretty damn nice. When I'm turning, you can see the whole stream of bullets. It's a bit strange because, of course, they come out in these big sort of sheets or lines, really long lines. So when I'm turning, you get these long lines being spewed up, but it's still very cool, I believe. And of course, it's a bit strange to aim, but you sort of get the hang of aiming it from third person, since there is no easy way to put the cockpit in a useful spot, except for unless you want to stick it out the side, and even then, you're basically still aiming from third person then. I love this thing a lot. It's a lot of fun to fire, even if it's a wee bit loud, which I do apologize for. But I turn it down too much more, and all the other sounds in the game sort of get droned out. And there you go, you see all those sort of chain reaction. That's actually something I didn't realize, but they must have changed the blast range of the mines, the warheads, since last time I tested this area out. Because before, you could just take out 1 or 2 and you wouldn't get a huge chain reaction like that. But now you get something insane. Now, even with all these, I'm going to fire at some metal here. You can see that it still doesn't just tear straight through the metal. It's the heavy metal, or the large ship metal, I should say, is still pretty sturdy. But other small ships you can pretty easily just devastate by shooting at. There's still a few things in the ships that they'll get destroyed, but they'll go invisible, so you get a bit of structural integrity still being kept in one piece from that. As you can see here, I'm just slowly passing over that, and it's going to do a bunch of damage. I'll get out now and show you that damage, and then I'll show you the, oh dear, I'll show you the other missile versions of this. So fly out here, rotate ourselves around, fly down here. You can see that one ship, that Falcon ship, got cut clear in half. And then we can fly over here to the cube. And at first it doesn't look like it's done much damage, but as we get closer you realize really quickly those bullets pierce through stuff pretty well. You can see inside, most of it looks intact, but we got a lot of gyroscopes and stuff floating free. I bet you if we fly down here we might even see a few holes. Shockingly not. But if we kept firing on it, it would tear this thing up pretty damn well, and you can see some more damage around here. Anyway, over to the missile version. It is completely the same as the other one. Basically, this is actually the version I made first because it was the most impressive. And big thing like this, you probably wouldn't expect it to have Gatling guns, which are mainly intended for destroying other small ships. You'd probably be wanting to aim at large ships that were coming into your area. These things would hopefully one day be able to be piloted by AI things that would auto-target and be able to autopilot, small ships. Maybe you could tell them to sit still. But anyway, the only difference with this is that all those guns I showed, as I'll show you right now again, you can see them. I've just replaced them, or they are, missile launchers. So anyway, here we go. I can take aim at, well, we can actually just take aim at the other turret here. Get ourselves, that should do. And there you go, nice hit. And you see all those little particles fly out in every direction. And you see it's torn it open pretty well. They seem to have changed the physics somewhat recently, so that these pieces that I'm blowing in half don't just go flying away, which is slightly sad, but I can live with it. And who knows what'll change in the future. Remember, it is still technically early days. And wow, you can see that did a huge amount of damage. You can actually see the cube on the right, the death cube on the right, has been torn open somehow from the impact on the one on the left. So let's hit that one on the left one more time. And you see the missiles slowing down a bit there because the game's lagging a wee bit and trying to calculate everything. And let's go actually take a look at that now. Alright, you can very clearly see that the missiles, they hit on the bottom. I think there's probably a few invisible objects here. Yeah, there's a bunch of invisible objects here. It's a glitch that's in the current build of the game. I'm sure it'll be fixed probably tomorrow on Thursday's update. And we'll probably be able to fly through it because currently all the reactors and gyroscopes and stuff that were right there in the engines are still counting as collidable objects, which is why the missiles didn't actually blow up directly on the inside. But clearly something came flying over here and ripped this one wide open. Boy, oh boy, did that do some damage. And I was actually able to fit in there. I wonder if different types of collision damage do different things to the collision maps of those turrets and stuff, or not turrets, pardon, but those engines and gyroscopes that were invisible there. Who knows? We'll find out, eh? Or actually, probably not, because they'll fix it. And you can see these two, they are starting to float apart, but not as fast as you'd expect from that huge explosion. And anyway, I just wanted to show these turrets. I like them a whole lot. They'll be up on the Steam Workshop probably the end of the day, hopefully. And I'm pretty damn happy with them. Mainly the missile one, because you can sort of pretend that that big stream of missiles is just like a big particle beam shot, whereas the Gatling gun one, it feels extra cheaty because there's a billion little tiny bullets flailing out of it, even if it looks pretty awesome. Anyway, thanks a bunch for watching. I'll see you guys next time.